all the stories, yo, you hit the yard, it's like, damn. It's crazy, you know, the stories is true. You know, you might do see somebody die. You might do see that your first day on the yard, you know, but as long as you know how to mind your own business and stay out of other people's business, then you're gonna be all right. It don't matter what race or where you from.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. Welcome to another episode, everyone. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so, please. These individuals are doing life in prison. One of them, the older individual, is in there for hitting someone, and the individual died. He's been in there for 33 years. They're talking about death in prison. There's death in prison every single day. I've done over 30 years of incarceration in prison, and most of that on maximum security prison yards in California. And prison is just not somewhere that any of us want to be. Redemption is here on the street. Let's get into it.
It's all love, man. This is my name is Wooly, Talos, Talos.
Okay.
I've been down for 33 years. I got currently the LWAP. Only hit a man one time. He fell down and died.
Man.
You know, I'm currently fighting my case, and I'm optimistic because of the programs. You know, in between the lines. You know, all the programs they offer us here has gave me a way to communicate to the youth that's beyond words, you know, because I got a lot to give, right? And sometimes I don't even feel myself worthy of giving it, but they need it. And I want to go home, but I get pleasure out of seeing somebody make decisions and change now. You know, you don't have to be like me, be better than me. You don't have to be like the yard, make the yard better. You know, we have alternatives and have recourses that sometimes we don't have to take. But the things that's right in our face, the elements is this. This right here, this is a younger dude. And I'm talking about he's a baby in here.
Yeah.
And I've clinged to him. And I've grown to know him because I've allowed myself to. The culture is what it is, right? But when we make relationships, regardless of race,
Color.
or color, right? That's breaking a barrier. You know, we need to step beyond our own mindset, right? Help your community. If you don't help your community won't prosper. You know, I didn't get this for nothing, but I didn't think I was doing anything at all until I got here. So what I stand for, I wouldn't stand for nothing at all if I wouldn't be here.
Respect.
So I stand for you. I congratulate you. I can congratulate myself, but him, this is his time. This is his reign, you know? And whatever you with, whatever to get me out, I'm with it.
Respect.
But whatever it is that I have to offer you to get you out, you got it.
That's fire.
So that's where I'm at.
I heard
So
you.
my name is Jesse Spicer, and I've been down
Spell your name
6
for me?
years. Jesse Spicer, JESSESPICER. I've been down 6 years and some change now. I got 32 to life, and just like OG was saying, I wanted to get up here and, you know, just talk about beliefs and stuff like that, you know, cause, you know, I'm young. I'm probably the youngest person on this yard. You would never think you're doing something wrong until you sit back and really think about it, you know. So, or, you know, it ain't necessarily that somebody was teaching you something or
Man, he's young. And he's already been in there for 6 years. As he said that he's the youngest person on the yard, 36 years, 32 years, 33 years to life. Already been in there 6 years. How old is he now? He looks, I'm sure he is the youngest person still on the yard. Imagine how young he was 6 years ago. And life thrown away, life over, life ruined, life gone. Now, of course, yes, he has a chance at coming back home at some point. You know, hopefully everyone in there does. The OG been in there for 33 years. He has a LWOP, life without parole, LWOP, and that's what they call it, LWOP, life without the possibility of parole. And he's been in there for 33 years. As he said, he hit a man one time. The man fell down and died. Oftentimes, you don't get life without parole for that. You know, I'm not a lawyer, nor a judge or a prosecutor, you know, but I have experience with being behind the walls, and I know people personally from behind the walls that had this very charge. But everyone is different. Every case is different, of course, you know. But I'm just saying, normally that they give you a manslaughter for that because you didn't intend to kill a person. You know, if you hit someone and you didn't have a weapon and that person ends up dying, chances are you wasn't trying to kill a person. You trying to hurt them, beat them up, blacken their eye, bust their nose, whatever. You didn't know that the person was going to die. So oftentimes they give you a manslaughter, 10 years or whatever. But whatever the case, he has life without parole. In 33 years, he's been in there. And this is what it is. This is what prison is. This is the yard. And this is how the yards are in California these days, particularly the maximum security yards, where the gate is in between the yard, blocking off the buildings. This is sort of to keep control, to keep security somewhat. So you have buildings 1, 2, and 3. I'm sure this is 3 building right here. And then you have the gate. And then you have buildings 4 and 5. You know, yeah. And then on the upper yard, vice versa. Or you know, you have buildings 6, 7, and 8, etc. And then the gate. So the people that's inside of 4 and 5 building, you can interact with them, but between the gate. You know, the only time that you can get physical with one another in any sort of way with someone that's on the other side of the gate is if you're going to canteen, they'll let both sides of the gate out. You go to canteen commissary, get your soups and your soap and your potato chips and what have you. Or you work somewhere, you work behind the wall, you work in the kitchen, because it's all still the same 1 yard, but they just have it separated somewhat. Again, supposedly to keep the security down, to keep the violence down, and you know, and to keep conspiracies down and what have you, there on the yard. But this is what prison is, man. And you can see that you're about to see that they're going in, yard recall, and this is where a lot of the violence takes place right here on these yards. You know, and it's just complete mayhem, complete death. There is organization and structure, but it's misery there because for the most part, everyone there is miserable, and rightfully so, one way or another. And in the privacy of their own hearts, they all regret their decisions and want to go home. And I would encourage everyone to think before you make the decision. This is what I encourage myself to do every day these days, to not just look at the beginning, but look at the end. Because at the end of the day, it is not how you start, it is indeed how you finish. And oftentimes, at the beginning, it seems like a good idea because we're not looking at the end result. We're only looking at the beginning. We only see the upside of this ill-advised decision and not the consequences of the decision should it go wrong. And when we mature and think about the consequences of these decisions, then that should give us pause and say that our lives are worth more than this decision. Remember, it takes 20 seconds to get in trouble, but it takes 20 years to get out of trouble.
People told you to do something, you know, it could have just been a community thought it was just right. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, you could be pressing on what you thinking is right, but when you sit down and think about it and you got time and you sitting in that cell with nobody to call and ain't nobody answering the phone but mom's, granny and them, you know, you going, damn, the things that I did yesterday, did it make me a better person today?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just all about your beliefs and, you know, what you picking up and what you leaving, because you can learn game from everywhere. You're supposed to soak up the game from everywhere. So, you know, like I learned from OG, you know, a lot of older people on the yard, you know, it's a lot of good things you could take from them. It's a lot of bad things you could take from them too. But you got to know what to weed out and what to keep at the same time. You know, I wanted to introduce another person right here to the camera. This was one of my cellies right here. Real impactful older dude. You know, to me, he ain't that older than me. You know,
You're relaxed.
about 10. You know, but this was one of my cellies, man, and he's a very powerful dude in the community.
Transform.
How old are you?
I'm
Jesse?
24 now.
Okay,
I've been
and-
down since I was 18.
And I'm 59, and I've been down since I'm 24.
36, down since 17. So he was my celly for about 2 years. He came in about, what you like, 19 or 20 at the time?
I was like 22.
22, he came to sell. First thing I did was got him in the program, school. I'm in college, so I tried to influence him to get into school, college, self-help groups, to the point that where he's been in so many self-help groups, he started actually facilitating and being a positive example to the individuals that's his age group.
Yeah.
'Cause when I first came in, we didn't have none of that. There was only about maybe 2 classes, NA and AA. So there was no groups. The CRM, Erica Lakers, did a wonderful job. This is the first place I've.
So 24 years old. He's 24. Yeah, been in there 6 years since he was 18. Has had a life sentence since he was 18 years old. Hasn't even really begun life. Hasn't begun to live his life yet at 18. You have not. And, you know, at this juncture, he can only help or only hope that he will get another chance to live his life out at some point and have a chance to redeem his situation, his crime, or the crime that he was accused of. You know, it's a hard road once you get yourself in that situation. And so again and again and again, I must emphasize and stress that the point and the objective is to not get in that situation, because it's just so hard to get out of it. It's so easy to get in these situations where you end up in prison or end up dead even. But it's so hard to get out of. Obviously, you can't get out of it once you're dead. And, you know, we show the prison part of it, but at the end of the day, the life leads to this or death, the street life, the culture. And good luck getting out of the situation once you get yourself into it. The best thing you can do is have restraint and not get into the situation to begin with.
Ever been. There's been so many groups to work and help us transform into the people that we need to be. So I took that example. I got an example from older individuals such as this gentleman right here, and it helped me transition into the person I became today. And I just trickled it down to the young man, and we're just trying to keep that cycle going.
Got you. Jesse, to be a young cat, right, and coming in here, you got your own beliefs about what prison is supposed to be, right? 6 years later, how different is it than your expectations?
Man, it was, you know, you could think it's something, you know, like, man, you hear all the stories, yo, you hit the yard, it's like, damn, it's crazy, you know, the stories is true, you know, you might do see somebody die, you might do see that your first day on the yard, you know, but as long as you know how to mind your own business and stay out of other people's business, then you're gonna be all right. It don't matter what race or where you from.
Okay. You getting ready to say something?
Yeah. You know, it's a lot going on the street right now, and we very diverse people.
Do me a favor, you kind of got to speak towards him because he got the microphone on his...
Yeah, it's a lot going on the streets, and I want to touch something, you know, like we see death in here every day, and unfortunately, some of us don't know how to be receptive to it. Some attract the culture to continue the death, but you know what? To everybody in here, to you, to the dudes that I'm around, death, destruction, right, is just not the path. You know, if I could have known that 20 years ago, I wouldn't be standing here right now today. But I stand here and it's meaning something. But my decisions I make is based on the culture that I'm around now. I can't worry about where I come from. I gotta go where I need to go and where I need to be. Where I need to be is on the street with my family, love, loyalty, and respect, right? But I also need to be here for my culture because it's a dying culture if we don't step in.
Okay.
You know, it's an at-risk culture if we don't.
Well, yeah, it is. And as I've said before, you know, it's just some of these individuals get to prison and they get these revelations when they get to prison. And some of them are genuine and authentic and some are not. But just watching this, it just, man, it brings back a lot of memories. You know, it's triggering for me. I was just on a yard just like this, Centinela State Prison. It's where I paroled from, April 19th, 2022. Going on 4 years now. And I paroled from a yard jail. I was in 3 building when I left. And the gate was right there. Oh, God. Horrible, man. Horrible. Horrible, man. Hopefully these brothers can get the fuck out of there at some point, man. But, you know, it's not just about getting out, it's about staying out. Getting out is only half the battle. And I'm talking to myself as well. There's no need to get out if you're going to go back. You just keep your bed for you. You might as well just stay there. You're going back in. What the hell? Get out of the way. No, man. Getting out is one thing. Focus on that, but then focus on how you're going to stay out once you get out of here. Because the hell with that shit right there. That's not living, bro. That is not living. That's not living.
Don't take knowledge and take a view of what they're doing and try to intervene. You know, we need to stop what's going on the street. In here, you need to come in. We need to give what we have to them out there. It's very hard, but we feel it.
Yeah.
You know, stop the bloodshed. Let's come together. Black, brown, we can do it, you know, but we need more funding. We need more education. We need more mental health services. The things going on in here right now are mental health problems,
Gotcha.
coping skills.
As well as drug problems as well.
Drugs,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
addiction.
Absolutely. It just like it destroys
You know?
our communities on the streets, it also destroys our communities in here.
Right.
So any type of influence that can help in those aspects can help us thrive in the
Deal with our traumas.
How important is mentorship in our community?
Man, that's real.
We making it.
I feel like that's real impactful because, well, I can speak for the younger generation and probably the people that's younger than me, because I'm definitely ain't finna listen to nobody that I feel like don't got the credentials that should be talking. You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, I feel like the people that's gonna become and be the mentors in our communities are gonna have to be the people that been through traumatic things.
Okay.
To understand him.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
But as a
Yeah, I mean, of course, that makes sense. You know, he just said that he's not going to listen to someone who hasn't been through it. That the people who are going to have an impact are going to be the people who have lived this life, who've been through this stuff. And this is really the only people that these individuals are going to listen to. I mean, when I want to learn about playing basketball, I'm going to go and talk to Michael Jordan. Who am I going to talk to? Michael Jordan or Kwame Brown? I have a chance at both of them teaching me. This is how you play ball, man. And I'm going to tell Michael Jordan, I don't want you to tell me how to play ball. Someone who's been through it and know how to play. I want Kwame to tell me and show me how to miss a point blank freaking layup. This is what hell to the kneesy. No, let me know what's going on, Mike. Not nobody else. So what he's saying makes sense. And nevertheless, the people that have been through it need to try to reach out to these men and help them. And have their hearts in the right place when they do this. And try to impact and change these individuals' life. At least change the trajectory of their life.
all right, Jesse is interesting, right? Because I'm watching you and you surrounded by these grown older men.
Yeah, I done got game from a lot of people that keep on coming in and out the camera. That's why you see me up here. You're gonna see a lot of people keep coming out. Yeah, so.
What do you think it is about you? Obviously, you special. Before we even got on camera, I saw you over there in the yard. I was like, oh, he got a different kind of essence about him.
Yeah.
So what do you know now about yourself that you did not know 6 years ago?
See, well, I was a real, like, stick to myself, stick to people in my community type of person. So I ain't really deal with a lot of people, so I ain't get to really see what they seen from their point of views. You get what I'm saying? Or like I would have never talked to somebody like you, even in this event here. So now that I'm able to communicate, I was always able to talk, and I ain't never had no problem with that. But I didn't like talking to people. So the more I got to talking to people, I could get a better understanding of everybody's point of view. So now that helped me understand myself way better than I ever could.
I can speak to something that he's saying. He actually gave a face to the youth on his yard in these type of environments, because when he was my celly, like the talks that we had, the deep understanding that he has, it allowed him to grow. So basically, he needed the seeds and the watering that he already had from his experience, then for the community to pour water into the seeds that he already had within him, right? And that manifested the skills and the potential that he already possessed. He just needs somebody to bring it out of him. And it was a blessing that he landed on the yard with individuals who's already been through their journeys, that continuing on their journeys to transition into better men, to take this young man and give him a voice and a face for the rest of the youth.
Now, how do we get that outside? How do we make sure that a young brother like this, 18 years old, doesn't get sentenced to 30 to life? Like, how do we make sure that happens in our communities?
Can I speak on that?
Yeah, for sure. Do me a favor. The shade is all in your face. I want to make sure you shine, brother. Give me your. Oh, you shining because you got the ball.
Yeah.
So give me the. Give me your first and last name and spell it for me.
My name is Tamar Yarbrough. THAMAR. Last name Yarbrough. YARBROUGH.
Love you too, bro.
Just speaking towards that, we don't want this to be the outcome. You know, like the brother's so young with so much life in him left to live and give. We just got to start by coming together and having these conversations that we having right here outside of there. You know, mentorship is important. Leadership is important out there. Not being judgmental of each other and embracing ourselves. And each one of us as a whole, we all matter. Everybody matter, man. And I'm glad to see him transform into who he is right now versus what I seen when he came in so young, and he done so much growing, you know. But it's a beautiful thing to see. But I want to see it out there, you know, because it's so much going on in the world out there right now, and so many of us is young and messed up out there right now, you know. And we got beautiful minds on our shoulders, you know. We just got to learn to use it the correct way. And I want to thank Erica Lake for bringing us to this yard and opening up these doors for us to share this type of energy, because I've been here since 2012 on the GP population. And I've seen when it's hostile. I've seen when we couldn't even have no cameras out here, none of that, you know. And to see it right now is beautiful, you know. It inspired me to keep pushing and go to classes and communicate properly with my family, with my wife, with my daughters, and be hopeful, you know, for the future, because I'm not perfect, you know, but I know I could be worked on, and I know I mean something. I know I'm of value, and
Yeah, well, shout out to you, brother. You know, and the goal has to be to carry this same energy once you get out. That's it, man. You know, I have to be reminded of that as well. That's where I just came from, and all of the plans that I had in there, and everything that I wanted to accomplish, and everything that I said, I now have to make good on it. I have to get up and make that decision every day. Now that I'm actually out here. What I wanted to be so bad. I wanted my freedom so bad. Shit, that's all I thought about. And now that I have it, I have to. But anyway, this ain't about me. Shit the hell. So that's prison, man. That's prison, bro. That's prison. Man said he sees death every day. And then, you know, the other part would probably be, the other lesson in this would be that, I mean, the man said that he socked someone one time. He hit him one time, and he died. And now he has life without being in there for 33 years. Life without parole for a decision, a quick decision to hit someone. Not a gun. I ain't finna go stab him to death. I'm just finna punch him. Whatever, it was over. Life over, life ruined. Punch somebody, you've been in there ever since, 30-something years. With them saying you have no chance of parole. You're never coming home. Doesn't mean that it's true. You have to believe and keep fighting. That's for damn sure. You know, and believe that you're going to get the hell out of there. and maybe you will. You can never give up. But one bad decision, one quick decision can lead to a lifetime of misery. That's the point. Just remember that always. Somewhere shit gets heated, just walk away, just get up out of there. Because you can get involved in a situation, and again, it takes 20 seconds to get involved in that situation. But it'll take 20 years to get out of the situation. I've been there, I've been through it. Quick, bad decision, just quick 20 seconds. What, man? What, man? You know, it's just boom. 20 seconds. It just took 20 seconds to take care of business and just, you know, let off that steam, and it feels good at the time. 20 years later, still sitting in that cell, it's not going to feel so good, bro. Stay safe and stay free, people.